You want a girl to be going crazy and shit because, you know, yeah, you like my little finger, right? But then at some point you're going to be like, shh, god damn.
And then also it takes away the effects. Like, well, you said you were going to scream, so even if you didn't like this, like, I know you're just keeping your word right now, and it's embarrassing to me.
What if you start yelling at her, like, shut the fuck up?
I'm just screaming and like, no! She's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I like it.
Or you scream at Power of Grayskull. It's like, it's all for the power!
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it.
Hey guys, welcome to We Watched a Movie. I'm Jay.
My name, Jeff.
So, season 4, episode 5?
Yeah, no.
5?
Yeah.
Episode 5, yeah, I fucking lost count.
6, I think.
Is it 6? I don't know. The next episode after last week's. Game of Thrones. What we're going to get here is a little bit of nasty Liza.
Oh, God.
Oh my god, the queen of...
Willem Dafoe strikes again.
What is he from? Queen of the Vale. A little bit of a 10-minute action sequence with Jon fucking Snow, who does work on Craster's shack of rape and skank.
Daenerys, this whole thing, she's sitting up there, and everybody's like, you fucked, you fucked, you're fucked. And she's like, well, all her old past people are like reorganizing and getting new slaves, and there's a badass over there doing something. And she almost has enough ships to roll up on the Lannisters, but she's not ready to do that just yet. And then she makes the decision, she's like, I'll do what queens do. I'll rule.
I like that. Then, you know, I do like that. Like the second son's lieutenant, he comes in there and she was like, what? And he's like, it's like her little council or like Tattletale. It's like, well, he stole the ships. Yeah. He took ships and he was like, yeah. And he was like, well, why did you do it? And he was like, I heard you liked chips.
He was sitting there like a badass eating sunflowers like Ace Ventura all the time.
So she wants to basically solidify her power there. I was like, you know, I'm going to rule here. I'm going to let my example set everything. I've freed the slaves, and if I can control my little side of here, and then they can see what I'm doing, then I'll sell for, you know, King's Landing, fuck things up. But
then we go back to Littlefinger, Lady Sansa. They go to meet his new wife, Liza, and I feel so bad. I feel bad for Littlefinger. I know that he like orchestrated this whole thing, but he gets in there and she's like, once they walk away, she's like, oh. Yeah. And you know he's sitting there, he's thinking, God damn it! It tastes like beans.
You know what? Imagine that shock that went through his mind when she was like, "Come in the doors," and she like brings her, and she's like, "When my husband and me fuck." She didn't say it like that, but she's like, "Me and my husband fuck." I'm gonna scream so loud. He was like, "Oh shit!" You know, it's like, take one for the team.
Yeah, I know, dude. You know, he was like, "Well, let's not do it tonight. Let us wait." And then she's like, right now, and he's like, God damn it. He's like, well, let me bathe. And she's like, I don't want you to. It seals in the flavor.
You know, Peter Baelish laid the Littlefinger down that night. And it was apparently not little, because that bitch screamed to the high heavens. I've never heard a bitch scream that. Like, hit that high C. I mean, and then, of course, you know, you got poor Sansa, and I actually feel sorry for this. I just want to take her to, like, fucking Toys R Us and buy her a toy and give her a Happy Meal or something, because she's sitting there, and then her aunt comes in, Lady Liza, and she's like, what, are you pure? Are you pure? Are you still a virgin? She's like, yes, oh my God. And then she's like, it's okay, shh, shh. It's like, well, you'll marry Robin and everything will be okay. And
my fucked up son.
And then her face just was like, oh.
I want to see the little man fly, Mommy. He's fucking insane.
That was the kid that was like sucking on his mom's tit when he was like 9 years old.
He's like the stupid version of Joffrey.
You have Cersei talking to Marjorie, and she's basically, I want to hate Cersei sometimes. I really do, but then sometimes like, God, girl, I love you, though.
I just want to put it in her.
Because she was basically, I know, but she was like telling her basically that, you know, it's really hard to lose your kids, and it basically kind of like warming up to Marjorie. Now, I don't know if that was like a double political move.
I'm sure it was, yeah.
But she seemed genuine, and I was like, God, fuck. I was like, I don't know what to do.
She gave up control, and she's basically like, well, I can't do fucking everything. So she's trying to, and then she's making the rounds in this one.
Well, she goes to Tywin, and then she goes to Oberyn.
Trying to push that she wants, you know, Tyrion gone.
But I like how Tywin also explained to him that they're broke. Like, basically, the Lannisters have no money.
I know, it's weird. It's like we borrowed from T.J. Linding, and now we're fucked.
Well, he's like, yeah, I know. He's like, Bernie Mac fucked us over on that bankruptcy.
Yeah,
but he always said there, the Iron Bank is like, you don't, because you always have to pay back the Iron Bank. They're like statues in a temple. Statues crumble, but the temple is always there. And then she was like, well, how much do we owe? Quite a lot. He goes, well, how much is quite a lot? It's like, quite a lot. It's like Daddy says no, I'm not gonna tell you.
Who runs the Iron Bank? Like fucking Tony Stark.
I think it's like I think it's those little goblins from Harry Potter. She goes to Oberyn, and that's actually when you see her, I guess her womanly human side when she's basically asking about her daughter. And you know, and then I like Oberyn because Oberyn's like, we don't hurt little girls. And she was like, everybody hurts little girls. I was like, God damn, bitch, you fucked up.
But I think what I'm trying to say there is that she's going around and she's making the rounds, she's trying to push Tyrion off on everybody, and they're like, we'll have a trial. They're not buying her shit. I think this is like this whole episode for her was like her feeling helpless. Yeah. Because she has to let Marjorie do what she wants, and Marjorie was like, I got this, bitch. Yeah. And Oberyn's like, I don't give a fuck.
You know that Marjorie said up there when she was talking about, she was like, have you even given thought about Tommen? And he was like, no. And he's like, but we have a secret. Like, you know, that's how he's like, I'll talk to my father, you talk to your father. And I was like, Marjorie's like, I got this shit. He's like, that little cock wants me. It's like the...
They do make Tommen king, so that's official. I mean, that's happening. Yeah. He'll be a good king. Show Brienne the Squire. Nothing really happens there. He fucks up trying to cook a rabbit, and she's so the man in that relationship, you know? It's just like, come on, do my straps.
Well, I think that was actually pretty cool over there, because Sir Podrick was like, she's like, what did you even do? And he was like, I just pulled wine and brought them food. And she was like, so you basically did nothing. She's like, and he was like, I killed a man once. And then she was like, really, what happened? He goes, I put a spear through the back of his head. And then she's like, oh, that's pretty impressive. Get my strap.
Arya's laying there, and she has a pretty little badass scene. Her and the Hound are chilling, about to go to sleep, and she's naming off all the people she's going to kill because she's starting to get dark like the crow up in this bitch. And then she's sitting there, and she basically sends him she tags him on Facebook, basically, as someone she's gonna fucking kill, and he's like, what?
Yeah, I loved how his reaction is, like, he's laying there, she's like, what would you do if the mountain was here? Because he's like, if the mountain was here, me and you both would be able to scratch your name off. He's like, what would you do? He's like, I tell him to shut the fuck up so I can get some sleep. And then she was like, one more name. And he's like, go ahead and say it. And then she rolls over, and like he acts like he's shocked. She was like the Hound. He was like,
he looks scared.
Like, he got up, and he was like, seriously. Like, oh, seriously. I was like, I gave you food. And then she's out there. Dude, it's fucking... His scenes with her are so good because she's out there practicing. He was like, who the fuck taught you how to fight like that? Like, and she was like, the greatest swordsman that ever lived. The brother's like, you get killed fighting like that.
Greatest swordsman without a sword.
Was his hair as greasy as Joffrey's cunt? I was like, God, dude.
Nasty.
And then she stabbed him. He was like, bitch, boom. And he's like, but then of course he didn't kill her. He was just like, I just bitch slapped you to make you understand that daddy don't want to hurt you, but sometimes daddy got to do bad things to you so you don't try to poke me with your little needle. I forgot to mention the whole thing with Lysa and Peter Baelish. They had to reveal that that Lysa was the one that sent the letter to Catelyn Stark, basically saying that the Lannisters behind Jon Arryn's death. But in reality, she poisoned her own fucking husband for Peter Baelish. And actually, at one point, Varys had said, I think in season 1 or 2, that Peter Baelish was the most dangerous man in the Seven Kingdoms because he's able to manipulate this situation. He really is like that Phantom of the Opera bad guy that hides in the wings.
Yeah,
and he's like.
Dude, he's fine. I still feel bad for him though. I mean, he's already got what's coming. You know what hurt like what that breath must taste like.
Ketchup and mustard.
He's picking like old beets out of his teeth afterwards. She's like,
she's probably
do me on it.
She's probably one of those bitches that eat like White Castle and like relish hot dogs, and when you kiss like right after that, she's like, give me a kiss. She's like, ah! But you're like, you gotta put your dick in a volcano to get high sometimes, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah, he's just like, think of the cause. Think of the cause.
It's like that Dan Cook. He's like, I'm getting something right now. I'm getting something.
Creams and sobs are in my future. Creams and sobs.
But so. That was the big reveal, but then we go to Jon Snow and about that big-ass fucking battle scene. It wasn't huge or anything, but it was badass. I liked that he took it to crass.
It was nice to see Jon Snow get to use all those skills he's learned and fucks.
Yeah, I was wondering when he was going to do that. He was like, are you just talking? Like, you always say, look what I can do.
He looks badass, too. He looks like a superhero around there, like, pling.
And then his brother got out, and then he was like, I've got to go to my brother. He's like, if you go to him, he'll never let us leave. And he was like, fuck.
Yeah,
okay, let's go.
They do this so many. You're like, okay, the Starks are finally going to meet up. They're going to have a happy moment, which ended up being a happy moment. But they're finally going to get this. He's going to see his little brother, and then that little fucker was like, "You can't do it," and you're like, "Fuck you, man!"
What's his name? I think the little weird kid that saw. He's like, "I know how you're going to die. You're going to die with burns and flames." And he's not like, I don't mind him, but he's almost borderline emo. Yeah. He's almost like, I'm going to write the poetry. Fuck it. But his name is Jojen. I think his name is Jojen in the show. I'm not sure, but if it is Jojen, okay. And then you know at some point. That Brandon Stark is like, your name's Jojen, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and I like that. Dude, Carl's so nasty, dude. He comes over to that girl and he's like, do you like it in your gut? I was like, oh,
so you want to do a girl in the butt, like, right away. That's what you're thinking of doing. I was like, you got a girl chained up that you can have sex with her vagina, and you're talking about doing her in the butt.
Immediately, straight to the gut.
And you got a whole house full of women that you're talking about doing in the butt. Enough of this butt talk. Brandon Stark does his thing, Hodor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Hodor, dude. He fucking breaks that bitch's neck. He's like... I'm like, God.
I love it. Hodor is such a, like, once Hodor comes back to life and he's like, oh shit, what? He's like, whoa, it's like, quit being a bitch, Hodor. Go do some shit down, you big bastard.
He's mentally challenged, so I guess, and I think they also had said at some point that he's so against violence. And like him seeing like what he had done, he can't even understand what happened. Dude, I think they said somewhere that he was like part giant or something, like, because like what kind of man can do this to another man? Because he like breaks that guy's whole head off.
It was just like how that one guy said, he's like, if I was your size, I'd rule the fucking world. Yeah, that guy ended up being a big bitch.
But the thing with Hodor though is like Hodor always reminds me of those guys, like when Brandon Stark does his mutant power and he's like, oh, and he takes control. Doesn't it remind you? Because Hodor's like, Hodor, and like he's trying to get out, and when Brandon Stark gets control of him, he comes out of it like fucking Hulk Hogan. He's like. like he started like, ooh.
Jon Snow and Carl have a badass sword fight scene a la Steven Seagal, Tommy Lee Jones, and Under
I hated that shit.
He's even got the 2 knives. You didn't like that?
No, I liked it, but it's like your name's Carl and you're like a fucking master daggersmith. I was like, I don't like it.
It's a boss battle.
I know, but I wanted his ass to get really fucked up. It did get fucked up, but he was beaten. He got beat by. Jon Snow was getting beat early on. I mean, he stabbed him in the hip. I mean, he was back and forth.
He was fighting dirty.
Yeah, but I gave it to Carl a little bit on the actual fight until that girl came in there and like stabbed him.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you rape hookers all day. That shit comes back to haunt
She wasn't a hooker.
Or that's almost the death scene you wanted from Joffrey, even though his was great. Just the fucking sword in the fucking aliens out of the mouth.
You know what I thought?
Metal.
When I saw the fucking sword go through his mouth, I thought of 2 movies. One movie was the T2, Terminator 2, when he stabs that guy through the mouth. That part, and then in Terminator in Punisher. He went fucking Frank Castle because he stabbed it fucking right through the. Remember in Punisher, the Thomas Jane one, with the knife went up through his mouth. And he's like, oh, and that's how Jon Snow did it. I was like, that's Jon Snow. That's how you kill somebody.
Next time you drink a little bit too much and throw up, that's what you're.
I think he did that on purpose though. I think Jon Snow just did that to impress that girl because the girl was sitting right there. He's like, she's gonna see this fucking sword go through his mouth, and then I'm gonna get it. Pop that in.
I don't think he would have wanted that.
No, he probably. I don't know. I mean, he hadn't had sex for a while, so
it still smells like a garbage can. But yeah, so ultimately, then they burn all the shit down, and he gets his finally a happy Starks moment. He finds his direwolf. So there's one Stark reunited. They gave us a little bit of something. It's
he met with his dog. I thought of Homeward Bound. He was like, "I missed you." I was like, "Oh, I missed you too, Peter." I was like, "Oh, it's so cute." And then he had all those girls gathered up. And she's like, "Burn it to the ground." Like, are you gonna stay here and crash? He's like, "Burn it to the ground."
He said that. It reminds me of that little guy who was like, "I threw it on the ground."
Like that music started coming on when the house is burning down. It was very inspirational. It kind of made me want to go burn down a house.
It reminds me of Last Dragon. He's like, "Oh no, we don't burn angels on the ground." Okay, so yeah, so ultimately I give this one an 8.5. It was a good episode. I love that you got to see Jon Snow kick some ass finally. That's really where it laid out. And I can't get off of the fact that that Littlefinger's got to do that crazy shit. I mean, she's fucking buku nuts.
Your breath's gonna smell like mustard and garbage juice for the rest of your life after you kiss her. So yeah, but you know, sometimes you got to do that. You got to go in deep, balls deep, to get the power. And that's what Peter Baelish wants. He wants the power. He wants the power.
But yeah, it's like, I mean, and I'm sure that woman's pretty in real life, but they made her to look that way. They made her to look really fucking scary and Green Goblin.
That's what, dude, she looked like a witch. When she was talking to Sansa and she was grabbing, she was like, "What has happened?" I was like, "Oh god, that's scary."
That's like being, you know, it's like she's like a scary grandma.
And she lets her 8-year-old son like suck on her titty. Like, it's just
fucking crazy.
Whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna give this an 8.5 as well. I like the intrigue and stuff. Like, you got the last 10 minutes of action sequences, but really, there was really no. Was there any nudity in this?
No.
There was no nudity.
Just a lot of screaming.
There was a lot of screaming and basically saying, "Hey, there's a lot of fucking going on."
Would you stop her and be like, "Would you fucking just stop?"
At some point, yeah, you want a girl to be going crazy and shit because you like my little finger, right? But then at some point, you're gonna be like, "Shh."
And then also it takes away the effect. It's like, well, you said you were going to scream, so even if you didn't like this, like, I know you're just keeping your word right now, and it's embarrassing to me.
What if you start yelling at her, like, "Shut the fuck up!"
I'm just screaming and be like, "No!" She's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I like it."
Or as you scream at Power of Grayskull, it's like, "It's all for the power!" I've not seen one Game of Thrones episode that I've just hated. Like, it's just amazing.
Except when they killed Sean B.
That was terrible.
Fuck that episode.
Shame on you. Starks.
Deeper and deeper.
Winter is coming.
So yeah, guys, that's our review. What did you guys think about this week's episode? What do you think about the nastiness that Littlefinger's got to go through? I'm Mike. He's Jay. We'll see you guys next time.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie.